I think what makes me stand out is I believe that buying a home, while it's a challenge, it should be a celebration. So I actually start my first time I meet with a home buyer with a gift bag filled with all sorts of great treats and things, because I think we should celebrate this momentous experience.
Welcome to the Dream Home Podcast, the show where real estate meets real talk. Hosted by John Nagle, a seasoned expert with over $7 billion in real estate financing experience. This podcast features top realtors, builders, and financial pros. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, we've got the tools to help you make smarter moves. Here's your host, John Nagle.
Welcome back to another episode of the Dream Home Podcast, where we explore the people and programs helping families turn home ownership dreams into reality. I'm your host, John Nagle with CMG Home Loans, and today we're heading to Austin and Leander, Texas, one of the most dynamic housing markets in the country, to meet an agent whose guiding philosophy says it all. Your best interest, my first focus. My guest, Ivy Stanton, is a 3-time Icon agent with eXp Realty, GRI Realtor, top producer, Century Club member, licensed in Texas and Oregon, featured on HGTV's House Hunters, and recognized among the top 3% of 85,000 agents nationwide. She's helped more than 450 families achieve their goals and holds both the GRI designation and Certified New Homeowner Co-Broker Specialist accreditation. But beyond the awards and certifications, Ivy's story begins long before real estate contracts and closing tables. Her drive to serve and succeed started in the backroads of rural Oregon, along a father whose determination literally shaped her view of hard work and integrity. Ivy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, John. Yes, my dad was a huge influence in my life. He was a Phi Beta Kappa graduate of USC Law School. And when he graduated, he decided, I don't want to be an attorney. I want to be a rancher. So he moved to Oregon and purchased his first ranch. And I grew up working on ranches in the summer. We lived in suburbia in the winter, but in the summer, I worked every day on the ranch. We were branding cattle and fixing fences, turning hay bales. It was hard work. My dad had lost one of his arms in an accident on the ranch. And so I grew up learning how to deal with obstacles. He could do everything except for tie his shoe in a bow or tie a tie, but everything else he could do with one hand. And I remember one time we were working in Eugene, Oregon. He just purchased a ranch there. And I was in the back of the pickup truck. We were loading gravel. And I looked up and I saw one of the cutest boys in our high school. He was a senior, and I was so embarrassed. And I said, Dad, could I pop inside the truck for a little bit? And he said, well, sure, honey. Are you okay? And I said, yeah, I just need to take a break. But he knew it was more than that. So he came to me and said, Ivy, what's going on? And I said, well, I'm just embarrassed. That's Dave. His dad owns this company, and he's one of the most popular boys in our school. And my dad paused for a moment. He said, okay, I understand. I didn't know that hard work was something to be ashamed of.
Wow, that is an incredible story.
He got back out of the truck and went back to work, and I joined him. I've never forgotten that.
Wow, that is a great story. So Ivy, your dad's story is incredible. Law degree, architecture degree, even building the Biltmore Hotel in Palm Springs before moving your family to Oregon to start flipping ranches. And he did this all after losing one hand in a construction accident. What was it like growing up under that kind of example, and how has it shaped the way you serve your clients today?
Well, I think one of the most important things that we can give our clients is our work ethic. And when I first meet with a client, one of the things I talk about is that I have high energy and I work really hard for them. So I think that that was one of the greatest gifts my dad gave me, as well as the idea of overcoming obstacles. That, yes, working with one hand was an obstacle, but it was an obstacle that could be overcome. And I've never forgotten that, especially in the market that we're in right now, where there are a lot of obstacles. But if we have that mentality that says, I'm going to move forward, we can and we will.
Absolutely. So that explains so much about your reputation, Ivy. Clients describe you as tireless, honest, and deeply personal in every interaction. It's clear that the lessons learned on those Oregon branches will guide everything you do in Austin real estate today. So let's kick off with your real estate superpower. What makes you stand out in a city full of amazing agents?
And we do have a lot of great agents in Austin. I think what makes me stand out is I believe that buying a home, while it's a challenge, it should be a celebration. So I actually start my first time I meet with a home buyer with a gift bag filled with all sorts of great treats and things, because I think we should celebrate this momentous experience. And then I promised them that I will listen to them in the process. We actually fill out a 3-page buyer's introduction agreement where I ask a ton of questions. And what's so much fun is sometimes even when I'm dealing with a married couple, one of them will say, well, my dream home is this. And the other will say, well, my dream home is that. And they're at different ends of the spectrum. But we work together to achieve their goals. And I promise them not only will I be brutally honest with them, I tell them that I may talk you out of homes, you may get upset with me, but there are certain homes I will lay in the doorway and you'll have to step over me before I'll let you buy them, because I know they're not great properties. And people really value that brutal honesty. Then I promise that we will keep it fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that mission, serving before selling, sets a powerful tone. How do clients usually respond when they realize you're crafting a plan around them rather than just pushing listings?
You know, it's so easy to push listings because clients have access to homes through their phone, online, etc. But when we realize that they're entrusting with us the greatest financial decision they're making, it's a humbling experience. You know, John, years ago, I read a book called Jesus, CEO, and it talked about the fact that servant leadership is the quickest path to our destination. That so impacted me. So I try to be humble. I try to also remember that I am serving them. They are my boss. I'm not theirs.
Absolutely. So Ivy, you've helped hundreds of buyers and sellers through both hot and challenging markets. How do you keep clients calm and confident when the headlines are full of uncertainty?
Well, John, you and I both know that in terms of the media, if it bleeds, it leads.
Mm-hmm.
And so fear is a great motivator for people to click. But I try to be very data-centric with my clients. Just this week, I had a great conversation. I have a client that I'm working with in Houston to sell their beautiful home. And I have trust with these people. I have traction with them. I sold their home in Liberty Hill a few years ago, and then I helped them build this home in Houston. It's a gorgeous home. It has a separate apartment and on in Cypress. And so he called me. We've been working together on this for about 3 months. And he called me and he said, Ivy, I think we need to wait. I've been reading headlines that we are about to enter a crash. Like 2008, everything's going to fall apart. And I think I just need to wait. And I said, well, I understand. And I do. But I said, let's look at the data. So we did. We went to HAR, Houston Area Realtors. And guess what? The Cypress market is actually rebounding quite nicely. So he's a smart guy. And when he saw that, he said, okay, we're good. We're on. Let's go.
Wow, that's a dramatic example, isn't it, of how that media can be so influential yet not really have basis, especially in these individual markets like this. They can talk about one thing nationwide, but that doesn't mean that's what it's like here in Texas.
That's right.
So you've said before that you have even talked clients out of buying when it wasn't in their best interest. Can you share an example?
Yes. This year I had a delightful young couple, first-time home buyers who contacted me. They were a referral from friends. I'd sold their friends their home at the top of the market, and they called me. This young man was, he's an engineer, and he works on an oil rig 2 weeks out of every month. He operates a robotic submarine, so he's certifiably a smart guy. So we started looking at homes, and they were disasters, the homes that they had chosen for me to show them. So finally I said, you guys, I think we're settling. Let's not do that. Let's just keep looking. And finally we found this incredible home. And it was out of their price range, to be honest. And I don't push people to buy beyond their budget. That's why, and in a moment, I'm going to talk about you, John, and why I'm so grateful for you. But we went in, the couple who had this home were desperate to sell. They were in a situation they had to sell. They had to drop the price. We went in at an amazing amount lower and got the home. The sellers had put $40,000 of hardwood floors in this gorgeous home. It was just beyond anything we'd looked at. And we got it. We got it at the price my clients could afford. So I had to talk them out of a lot of homes. We saw 19 homes together before this one. I had to talk them out of a lot of them, but they were so grateful that I did.
Oh, that is terrific. So let's shift to something awesome. A client story that really makes you smile.
I think that when clients come back and they allow me to serve them again and again and again, I am so deeply grateful. I started into real estate in 2008, which was probably the hardest time to go into real estate. But you know what? It was the best time because it taught me skills I never would have learned any other way. And we were doing repo tours. We would take people around to bank-owned properties, and then they could look at them and decide if they wanted to buy them. And I worked with this couple. They bought a home. Then I sold that home. They bought another home. This was all in Portland. They called me one day and they said, Ivy, we are moving to Texas because you're in Texas and you love it there. And we're going to move to Texas. So the daughter was highly successful in the tech industry. They came to Texas and we looked at a lot of homes. And they said, this is where we're going to look. And I said, don't do it. And they didn't listen. They bought the home in a different area. And within 9 months, they called and said, okay, how many times do you want to say I told you so? I just need once. Let me get it out of my system. And then they moved to Georgetown. We built them a home from the ground up, a gorgeous home on Lake Georgetown. They're the happiest people in the world. And that makes me smile.
Yeah, that's moments like that keep the passion alive for sure. So
Definitely.
After nearly 2 decades in real estate, what still excites you about the business every morning?
John, I really do believe in the power of a home and home ownership. And all the studies show that home ownership affects so many parts of our life. Home is, it's a place where we walk out disappointments. It's a place where we celebrate big wins, small wins. It's a place where we work through the tough issues. It's more than just siding and insulation, roofing materials, tile. Home is an environment, I believe, that houses the important events of our lives. And that's what gets me up every day.
Yeah, that's terrific. So you're known for creating a concierge level experience. What tools or resources make that possible for you and your team?
I have a packet that I give to my clients. I have one for sellers, one for buyers. And there's detailed information in this about the process, about all of my vendors, about what we're going to deal with that will be challenging, as well as what we'll deal with that will be delightful. I work for a company that is eXp Realty. They are relentless about pursuing technology. And so obviously with the technology I am afforded through my company, that allows me the high value gift of more time. And the more time I have, the better I can serve my clients with concierge service. I recently was working with an investor from Southern California, and they said, we want to buy an investment home, but we're not sure if we can fly up there. I handled everything. I helped them find the home. I negotiated the price. I was there to meet with a company that brought the washer and dryer. I oversaw the inspection. I oversaw the repairs. They had, to this day, have not seen the home.
Wow, that's definitely concierge service. My goodness.
Yes. But you know what? It's critical because right now, Texas is the number one state for investors. 33% of all sales in Texas this last year were to investors.
That is just an incredible statistic, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
I've never heard of such a thing anywhere else outside of Texas.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. So you've also built strong partnerships that help your clients feel fully supported from start to finish. What kinds of collaborative resources or strategies have you found most effective guiding clients through today's market?
Well, John, you are at the top of the list. And I'm not saying that because we're on this podcast together. I'm saying it because it's true. 2 years ago, in my career, I've had three lenders since 2008. My lender in Portland, we were joined at the hip. Then when I moved here, I had a lender that I was joined at the hip. She was phenomenal. She was killed in a horrible, tragic car accident. And I didn't know what to do. I just felt absolutely without a foundation. And I worked with different lenders, but none of them were what I needed. And then I discovered you. And I remember our first conversation, I said, John, I won't work with a lender who won't pick up the phone at night if I have to call. And I won't work with a lender who won't work hard like I do and answer the phone on weekends. I was very, very stern about it. And you started laughing. And now I know why. If I text you, and I try not to, but if I text you at night, I'll say, don't respond tonight. Tomorrow's fine. Immediately, I have a response from you. And my clients, one of my clients is a cardiologist. She's a surgeon. And so she is, wow, her life is insane. And when I need a question answered for her, she loves you. She just adores you. And it's because of the service that you offer. So that my inspector team, I have different inspectors, but a couple that I guide people towards because I know they're people of integrity. I give them a lot of business. They're honest like I am. And on it goes through contractors, etc.
Well, so sorry to hear about your friend, obviously, and thank you for those kind words. And I've definitely enjoyed relationship as well, because you can tell that the clients love you in every single case as well, because you're out there looking out for their best interest. That partnership-based approach really does make a difference when everyone's aligned. Buyers and sellers enjoy a truly seamless experience. So, Ivy, walk us through what a client experiences when they work with Ivy Stanton Homes from first call to closing day.
First call, we sit down, we go through the buyer's introduction, as I mentioned, and then I quickly review with them in the packet the 60 ways that I serve them well. Buyers are confused right now because of all the NAR and all the lawsuits and all that. They're just not sure. So I walk them through that process very simply with graphics that explain what's going on. all about the commission changes and every bit of it, but trying to keep it simple. Then I take them through the process from the start to the finish, step by step, what we're going to walk through. And again, I have it all in a packet because they don't remember it all, of course. I love working with engineers because they are so cut and dry. But even my engineer clients, they can't remember stuff. So we've got to review it again and again. Then when we're ready and we've worked through the pre-approval with you, we go see homes. I explain that 6 homes in a day is about the max that they can absorb. So we'll go see 6 homes one day, 6 homes the next day till we find the home. I offer them, the first time we meet, they have an MLS agent full sheet for each home. That's information that only agents have access to. And I print it out, I highlight it with the taxes, the schools, the number of bedrooms, the year it was built, all those things. So with a glance, they can see things about the home. Then after we've seen the 6 homes, if that's as many as they want to see, that day we review. We step outside, we review what they liked, what they didn't like. When they're ready to make an offer, I negotiate. But I approach negotiation from a bit more of a partnership level, because I think when you offend people and make them angry, it doesn't serve you well. So with buyers, I explain that yes, we're in a buyer's market and sellers mostly are desperate, but we're not going to offend people. We're going to be reasonable. And that way, when we get to the repair section, sellers are more open to helping and working with us because we haven't been brutal in, jacking them around with the price. Then we negotiate repairs and we are on our way to closing.
Yeah, I love it that you have these 60 things that you do for your clients, because that is definitely something that clients don't understand.
Yes.
That there's so much involved, and nowadays where you can, like you say, look online, everybody thinks they can, what do I need this for? And what do I need that for? And I can tell you example after example where when that wasn't there, those 60 things that are helping the client, that client lost out because of that, because they weren't able to take advantage of that. So I think that's great that you're helping them understand that it's not just a question of, hey, I'm going to show you this home, or hey, I'm going to help you write the offer. It's the other 60 things that are all important and integral to a successful transaction. And I think that win-win attitude too with the seller is a great one too, because you're absolutely right. If you come in with this really low offer, then there's no more room left. So when you do run into that obstacle, something going on with the home inspection or something that is an important item, you don't have any room left. So now all of a sudden, where do you go? You put yourself into kind of a corner. So I think that's really a good way to approach it. So Ivy, you're licensed in both Texas and Oregon, which gives you a unique perspective. What trends or behaviors are you seeing among buyers today compared with a few years ago?
Well, I think that buyers are, it depends on if buyers are selling in Portland and coming here to buy, then they're fed up. They're wanting to be in an environment that is a little more conducive to a life. And so there's a lot of hand-holding there. Texas is so friendly. Texans are so warm and gracious. It knocks people out. They're not prepared for it. I think buyers in general are, as I mentioned earlier, they're very, very overwhelmed. And interest rates being what they are, and home prices, even though in Texas we certainly enjoy more affordable home prices than other places, they're just really needing a tremendous amount of collaboration and partnership, more so than ever.
Yes, I agree with that for sure. So if someone's listening from Austin or still up in the Pacific Northwest and thinking about relocating, what's your best advice before making that move?
Get pre-approved. Work with John, get pre-approved. Your pre-approval process, it is so easy. A client just this last couple of weeks ago who said, well, Ivy, I don't know. I don't want to. I said, just try it. And he called me back. It was Kevin. And he called me back. He said, you're right. It was so easy. So easy. Then I invite, if they're coming from Portland, I ask that they fly down. Not everybody can do that. I sell home sight unseen. I do. It always makes me a little nervous, but so far it's worked out. But I want them to experience what we have here in Texas. Our neighborhoods are so incredible with the amenity centers, the brand new schools. Right now in Liberty Hill, the most expensive high school in Texas, $250 million is being built. $250 million high school in Liberty Hill. Now, 5 years ago, Liberty Hill was way out there. Not anymore. Again, we are growing. Everywhere you drive, there's building, there's growth. Well, that's because it's Texas and people want to live here.
Yes, we have beautiful weather. We have no state income taxes, and it's just a lot of reasons why people want to live here. And affordable housing, just like you said, in some of these markets where they're coming and getting double the house in a lot of cases from some of the markets they're moving from. So, yeah, I'm a little biased as well with Texas. I think it's a great place to live. So, Ivy, thank you for sharing your heart and wisdom with us today. From serving before selling to redefining what a concierge realtor means, you've shown that real success in real estate starts with sincerity. For anyone dreaming about buying or selling in the greater Austin area or in Oregon, connect with Ivy Stanton at ivystantonhomes.com or follow her on Instagram at Ivy_Stanton_homes. I'll also have these contact information listed in the show notes. And if you're ready to explore the dream of home ownership, visit dreamhomepodcast.com or reach out to me, John Nagle at CMG Home Loans. We're here to make your next move smooth and stress-free. Thanks for tuning in to the Dream Home Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode, and join us next time as we continue exploring the people and places that make homeownership possible. Ivy, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure having you on the Dream Podcast today.
Appreciate having me.
Thanks for listening to the Dream Home Podcast, hosted by John Nagle. Ready to take the next step toward your dream home? Visit www.dreamhomepodcast.com for resources, tips, and expert advice. If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe, leave a review, and join us next time for more real estate insights and mortgage tips. Until then, happy home hunting.